It says, but David remained in Jerusalem at the time when kings go off to war. Make sure that you are giving consent to your mind, because sometimes the mind works independent of the body. An idle mind is a devil's workshop. Be intentional about how you handle your spare time. Hi guys, welcome to Life and Living with Lade. On today's episode of Face Friday, I'm going to be talking about a topic that I have titled An Idle Mind. Before we start this episode, I'd like to define what it means to be idle, and I'm going to be reading from the dictionary. A person spending time doing nothing. For the purpose of today's video, I'm going to be using King David, one of my favorite Bible characters, as a case study. I'm just going to be using one little portion of King David's life that was really important to explain idleness and what idleness can cause. If you're not familiar with the story of King David was a man after God's own heart. In terms of the topic we're talking about, I'm going to read from 1 Chronicles 20 verse 1 from the New International Version. The point of this verse, where I'm actually picking at to explain this whole idleness topic, is where it said, at the time when kings go off to war. Then you go further down to the B part. It says, but David remained in Jerusalem at the time when kings go off to war. English Revised Version, the beginning of the verse says, and it came to pass at the time of the return of the year, at the time when kings go out to battle. The B part says, but David tarried at Jerusalem. This is my point in this verse of scripture. So when King David tarried in Jerusalem while his army was at war, and when other kings normally go to war, he looked out of his window and saw Bathsheba. All of a sudden, he grew lost towards her. Imagine if David did not tarry in Jerusalem. If David did not decide to stay back, if he had gone to war, if he had kept himself busy, there would have been no opportunity for him to fall victim of lust. Somebody else's wife was taking a bath. Because of the idleness, the level of idleness, he went and committed sin with her. He also committed murder after that, because he went further to make sure that her husband was killed in battle. So that is what happened in David's story when he had too much free time. On today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 3 different ways on how to spend your spare time. So the first tip that will help you spend your free time better is to be intentional. Be intentional about how you handle your spare time. Whatever the activity is you're going to be doing at the time, make sure that you are giving consent to your mind, because sometimes the mind works independent of the body. And since that saying goes, an idle mind is a devil's workshop, you don't want to make your mind idle. So even though there is something that you want to do or nothing, you still need to give your mind consent, permission to do that thing. So for instance, you have you worked 9 to 5, you get off at 5, you have dinner when you get home, there's no laundry to do, you don't feel like watching TV, you just have about 3 to 4 hours before bedtime. What do you do then? Whatever it is that you decide to do, make sure you're intentional about it. Give your mind consent, permission to think certain thoughts, because eventually that will become your reality. That's the first tip. The second tip is to be creative with entertainment during your spare time. I've met a lot of people, especially in college. A lot of my professors had game nights in their houses, and just because there's spare time, and in one day of the week everybody comes together, maybe before or after dinner, and play games. It's just nice. So that's one way to be creative with entertainment and spare time in general. You can play games with your family members, you can decide to see a movie, you can decide to not do anything. That is, you have decided you're going to probably stay away from technology, lay down until you fall asleep. The third tip on how to spend your spare time is to know what you like. What do you like? And if you don't know what you like, your spare time can help you figure out what you like and what you don't like. If you have found, I'm going to link a video I did right here, how to find your purpose in life. Because if you have found your purpose in life, if you know why you're living, you barely have any spare time. I guarantee you. Any spare time you have will be for sleep, because you'll be too exhausted and tired from working and doing the things you love and being intentional. Try as much as possible, even if 100% of the time, if you work so hard, every spare time you have is for sleep. Try to be productive with your spare time. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Thank you for watching, and thank you to our new subscribers for subscribing to this channel. Subscribe to this channel if you've come this far. Until next week, I love you beautiful people. Thank you very much for watching, and God bless you. Bye.